black men are the white people of black people. We are the entitled, largely uneducated, flamboyantly problematic group that offers that everyone else is the problem but us. We think that we should be the leaders of the black community without actually taking responsibility for negative things that happen within the black community. We offer that it is everyone else's fault that things don't work but ours. It's society not respecting the black man. It's the black woman not respecting the black man. It's the feminization of the black man. It's the masculinization of the black woman. It is the black woman choosing the wrong black man. It's the LGBTQ plus community trying to indoctrinate the black man. Everybody else's fault but ours. And if anyone steps outside the pocket to remind us in any way, shape, or form that we might be able to do better, then they're bashing black men. And don't get me wrong, things are hard for us as black men, but that doesn't give us the right to pretend like things aren't hard for other people. Like we don't make things hard for other people. That's what white people do.
Hello, guys. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Woman Exodus. Golly, I did not expect to be back this soon. Pakistan just won't let up, but I had to come back and talk to y'all about this poor 6-year-old girl who was shot in the chest over spilled water, y'all. My gosh, I feel like I've been doing daily videos at this point. But let's get housekeeping items out of the way. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Please also, if you have any suggestions or any tips for any type of content you'd like to see, feel free to email me. My Gmail is lexusexoduschannel@gmail.com. Also, as always, please, if you have an opinion or just want to sound off, please chime in below. I really enjoy engaging in conversations with like-minded Black women. So, yeah, so let's dive in. Like I said, I did not expect to be back this soon. At this point, I'm doing daily videos just because of the toxicity and the BS and horrific, nefarious acts of these fools. I'm going to play this news clip and then we will unpack.
Incidents that happen days apart and many miles apart. But now we are learning a deadly crash and deadly shooting have a heartbreaking connection.
We do have team coverage on this tonight, starting with our Roseanne Aragon, who's live in Pasadena, where a 6-year-old little girl was shot and killed today. Roseanne?
It is no doubt a very devastating situation for the entire family. Pasadena police say it happened just behind me here in the 3600 block of Shaver Street. Neighbors tell me just minutes before the shooting, the family member who shot the girl knocked on their door. A heartbroken family.
I done lost words right now. I'm still choked up right now.
Friday morning, a shooting left her 6-year-old granddaughter, Lorianne Walker, dead.
My granddaughter was your baby. They got shot twice in the chest this morning.
Pasadena police say it was a male family member who shot the girl over spilled water. Downstairs neighbor Mauricio Alvarez says they saw that family member often, and minutes before the shooting, he actually knocked on their door.
He knocked on the door. He was like, "Oh, can you check if you don't have water coming down because the little girl has clogged the toilet?"
He left. 10 minutes later, neighbors heard
like a group upstairs that were yelling.
He was banging on the doors, and one of the women had a knife. And they were telling him, "Get out of here, get out of here."
But then Alvarez says the family member came back.
He went running upstairs, and we just shot. We heard like 4 or 5 shots, like bam, bam, bam. And he started running, and we started hearing his like scream.
Bullet casings fell.
We just started calling the cops so we could help them out.
The 6-year-old was rushed to Bayshore Hospital. Her mother, heartbroken. Her brother, who lost his children in an unrelated crash Sunday, sending comfort.
All I can say to my sister, I'm here for her. I'm going to support her. And I can imagine her pain because we both going through the same pain.
And it just so happens that the...
Do y'all hear that? So if you didn't catch the gist of it, a little girl, she clogged up a toilet because I have a 9-year-old boy and he uses too much toilet paper too. She clogged up the toilet and apparently water spilled everywhere. The relative, this fool, this derelict, went downstairs and asked the neighbors if they had noticed any leaking. And for whatever reason, minutes later, that escalated to him arguing with a 6-year-old girl and shooting her multiple times in the chest. Boy, y'all, I mean, my heart is so heavy. It's so heavy with this situation because it is really difficult for me to understand and to comprehend the thought process behind this. But it's like, yeah, you'll drive yourself crazy trying to put logic and trying to understand insanity and what doesn't make sense. How it is possible for you as a 35-year-old man to even one engage in an argument with a female, because we know that true men who were real men, they won't engage in arguments with you. And I can say this as a true, I can attest to this based off of my previous experience. Real men will not engage in arguments with women, with females. They just will not. They will, unless they are abusive, unless they're gay men, unless they are less than men. Typically what happens is if a man and a woman get into it, he will disengage and he will walk away, because the true epitome of a man and of masculinity is understanding that strength that you have and that power that you have and that you hold, and understanding how to restrain that. So real men will disengage. I've had men tell me, you know what, I'm not going to have this conversation with you, and hang up the phone. Because I used to be a firecracker back in the day. I like, even my husband, if, we get into it, he just won't, he won't say anything. He'll let me have my distance, and he will just leave it alone. I don't know if you noticed, but it's the queens that do that. And when I say queens, homosexual men will argue and will go back and forth. You'll see it like even on television shows, reality shows. It's the gay men going toe to toe with other women. If you look at Real Housewives of Atlanta, it usually is the homosexual men who do that. Real men don't do that, or they're abusive. And like I indicated in my previous abusive relationship, oh, he would cuss me out. He would go toe to toe with me. He would argue with me like a man, but he was abusive. So to see a story where a man, first off, engages in an argument, a confrontation with a female. Secondly, for him to be engaging in an altercation with a 6-year-old, it's like this. What the fuck? I can't make this shit up. Y'all will give Tyler Perry flack about how he perpetuates negative portrayals of these men. But this is really what's happening. And I'll never forget. And for colored girls, people being so frustrated and pissed off at him for allowing Michael Ealy's character to throw those kids off the balcony. Oh, that's unrealistic. Nobody would ever do that. But here we have this story and numerous other stories, hundreds of other stories where these men are committing horrific acts, and they are maiming and brutally attacking and killing, murdering. This man shot this little girl in the chest for clogging up the toilet. We're going to continue to unpack this, but I did want to continue the rest of this news story, because it turns out this little girl is related to a family of 4 that were recently killed in a car crash because of a Tyrone who negligently got drunk and then got behind the wheel. This is so sad. Okay, so here we go. This is just an ad.
I live the lie, love is the crime, it's you I believe in. No need to blame myself, no need to die, I'm only human. Don't hesitate, time heals the pain. You ain't the problem.
You could see it and hear it in his voice. He simply said, "You've caused a lot of pain." That's the message he had for the man now sitting behind bars here at the Harris County Jail, charged with killing his family. pain he fears will never go away.
Hey, King, what King at? I gotta find King.
Damian House shared photos and memories with friends and family today of the wife and kids he loves so much.
Honestly, she was kind of a mother to me because she kind of raised me. She kind of made me into the man who I am today.
Yo, I had to pause right there. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear this man say that the woman who died was like a mother to him? See, I can't. I'm sorry, and I don't want to sidetrack this conversation because there's more important things that are a part of this story that we need to address. But this, I have to stop this and say, this is the shit that's normalized, the fuck shit. Here you have a 30-year-old man who's a parent of 6, I think it said, talking about his wife raised him and was like a mother to him. This is a damn shame. These are inept, immature men who are stuck in an unending, perpetual state of childhood. They're stuck in this prepubescent boyhood, never-ending boyhood. And it's just so interesting and so frustrating to hear that, because it's like, although we're rearing their children, we're raising their children, we're cooking and cleaning and muling, oftentimes working multiple jobs to help provide for the family. You fucking them, you feeding them, doing all that. As if that's not enough, they want you to raise them too. Oh, let's keep going.
Messiah, King, and Drake were extra special.
Smart, respectful, just joyful kids. Just like to have fun and wake up and play and learn.
4 people House can't believe are gone.
I can't even find a word to say because it still feel like it's unreal.
The family of 4 was killed Sunday night in northwest Harris County. Deputies say their vehicle was hit in a chain reaction, which caused their car to burst into flames. The mother and 2 kids died at the scene. The 2-year-old was rushed to the hospital where he later died.
You took a 7 month, that ain't just still a baby. He ain't get to enjoy his whole life. Gone.
The person House is speaking to is Daniel.
You see this hideous man? Look at him. I mean, he only got scrapes and bruises, and he done killed a 7-month-old and a whole entire family, 3 children, and one adult woman. And that's the other thing. I didn't show y'all the mugshot of this guy who, see that disgusting, ugly ass motherfucker, monstrous looking nigga. This is the motherfucker who shot that poor baby, that 6-year-old, in the chest while they were grieving the loss of their family, because this little girl was the cousin of the children who were killed in this DUI accident. While they were grieving, he shot this little girl in the chest. And so now they're grieving another loss of an innocent baby. Let's keep going.
New Canada. He was arrested and charged with 4 counts of intoxication manslaughter. Deputies say his blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. He suffered only bumps and bruises. Small reminders of what happened, but House says he'll never let him forget.
You caused a lot of hurt, pain, a lot of lonely nights at night, no more birthdays, no more holidays fun. It's a lot that you did, and I would never, ever in my life forgive you.
Yeah, you can feel and hear that pain in his voice. Now, House believes this whole tragic incident could have been avoided. The suspect was actually pulled over not shortly before the accident took place, but the deputy let him go.
Oh boy. Y'all see that? That's what happens when you get rid of police, or when you have police officers who are lenient on these monsters. A police officer deputy tried to be nice to this fool and let him go with a warning, and he done went off 5 minutes later, killed an entire damn family. This is the baby that was shot in the chest. The 6-year-old that was shot in the chest. She was such a beautiful girl. Y'all, I'm so sickened by this. I am so sickened by this. This is not the type of things that I want to do content on and that I enjoy reporting on. But the reality of it is I have to do this because I have to share warnings with y'all. I can talk until I'm blue in the face about anecdotal things that have happened in my life, but I need for y'all to see the real stories, real lives lost at the hands of Blackistan and the horrific things that happen at the hands of these men. So 2 stories with 5 people dead, 5 people, 4 of them being innocent children, all because of 2 neighbors. And this is one family, and I just can't imagine. I can't imagine the trauma that they're experiencing right now, to suddenly lose the life of 4 relatives, 4 children, or 3 children that were related to you. And to be reeling on that, I think even the story said the reason why this little girl was over that person's house in the first place where she got shot was because they were preparing for the funeral arrangement of the initial people who lost their life in the car accident. So I have to share this information just because I need to convey the sense of urgency and really illustrate that we are in a state of emergency, Black women. At this point, they are picking off this family one by one. The women and children in this family are being picked off one by one, just like lambs being taken to slaughter. And, when we look at the stats, this isn't, I don't want you guys to think that this is abnormal. This is the norm in Blackistan. This is the norm in the community when it comes to women and children. Women and children are victimized at an astronomical rate by the hands of these monsters. So 1 child or teen is killed with a gun every 3 hours and 8 minutes. Also, we know that a Black man is killed, a Black woman is murdered once every 19 hours, every single day within this community. And I just want to illustrate and hone in on the fact that all of this is interracial. So, when we're talking about Black Lives Matter and eradicating the police and white violence against Black people, all of this is intraracial. All this violence that I'm talking about is intraracial, meaning that these women and these children are becoming victimized at the hands of men that look like them and that are from their same community. So I'll encourage you guys to see this information and to leave. This is not a game. And over the summer, I've had an epiphany about this, and I reflected after the uprising of all the Black BLM protests and everything that happened in the aftermath of George Floyd. And I thought about everyone in my family, and I come from a really big family, My paternal side, my dad has 8 brothers and sisters, and my mom has 11. So lots of cousins, lots of sisters, aunts, lots of female cousins, lots of babies, lots of women in my family. And I thought about it, and I reflected. And had an epiphany because I realized that every single last one of them was either physically or sexually assaulted by a Black man. Then I thought, well, how many of them were victimized by white men? None of them. I couldn't name one of them. And so that was my epiphany. I have, when I tell y'all that my family, it really is a lot of dysfunction. We're talking about a lot of molestation, a lot of domestic violence, a lot of drug and alcohol abuse to numb, the aftermath of that. But I have 2 cousins that are sisters, and they were both molested by an older cousin. I have another cousin that was raped by her damn brother, her half brother. Another cousin I had was kidnapped by one of these fools as a child, came and got her out of school and pretended to be a friend of the family. Another one was raped while walking home in the 6th grade, while walking home from middle school. She was raped by one of these disgusting nakers. I have an uncle who is crazy and who went to prison for shooting his wife and trying to kill her. And then I have a slew. Those are just like the extreme stories. What's normal in my family is I have a slew of aunts and relatives, female relatives, who have been beaten and who have had to flee their homes and go to homeless shelters at the hands of these men. And I personally, and I talk about it, and I'm very vocal because I want to help others. I used to be very embarrassed and ashamed about my story, but then I realized how common it was and how I can use it as a testimony to warn others. I also have been in that situation, and, I've been date raped. I've been choked and beaten by one of these monsters. And the interesting thing is, I know this video, I'll get a lot of detractors in my comments of people who like to say, oh, well, you don't talk about the slavery and the genocide and the poverty and the systematic racism and the rape that occurred, at the hands of white people who, and, they're at fault for this because they're at the root of this dysfunction. And what I will say, I'll say a few things to that. Just because you've been victimized doesn't give you the right to become a predator and to victimize others. It's like those who like to defend R. Kelly because he was molested as a child. Guess what? We all have been molested. And I know that's really sad and really dismal and depressing to say, but we all have. But I didn't turn into someone who abused children. Seek therapy, take accountability, get some help. Kill yourself if you have to. If you are at a point where you cannot control yourself around children, then you need to just off yourself. I respect that more than you inflicting that same pain on other unsuspecting innocent children. The other thing I'll say to these detractors is we Black women and children do not have the luxury to examine and analyze and to crunch numbers and to scrutinize why this is happening. We don't. The point is it's happening and we're being victimized at an alarming rate. They are taking us out. So we're in a state of emergency. So we don't have time to analyze and to review and to carefully study why this is happening. The only thing that we can do is protect ourselves. We are in a state of emergency, so we need to remove ourselves, remove these children from this toxic environment. And, I don't know. I talk to my husband a lot about this stuff. And I swear, just yesterday, I told him he was my guardian angel. My mom passed away from cancer 3 years ago, and it was her birthday yesterday. And he remembered and came home and bought flowers and bought a card, a sympathy card, and was just like, yeah, I'm here for you. I'm getting emotional because he is such a godsend. And I say that to say, because I came from the opposite end. I used to be so race loyal and ended up in a relationship with a loser, a derelict, Daquan, because of that. This person was broke. He was irresponsible. He would always move from job to job. He would just come home one day and be like, I quit. They disrespected me. I quit. So we were always financially struggling, always behind on rent, never could get ahead, bills just stacking up. And he was verbally and physically abusive, which is pick a struggle, dude. Side note, man, how you gonna be broke? How you gonna be abusive and cheat? How you gonna be all of the above? Pick a struggle. But this man, I'm telling you, he was a nightmare. And I talked to my husband about those experiences, and he sees my family's experiences, those who haven't divested, and he just can't believe it. He can't believe it, and he's so shocked. Because my life in comparison today to what it is back then, I call him my guardian angel because he really saved me. He put a big old rock on my finger. He paid off my student loans. He moved me and my son, accepted him like his own, and moved us to a gated community in the suburbs. He helped me increase my credit score, 200 points. And he just understands the value of integrity, the value of honoring the woman that you're with, and the purity of marriage. He respects the union of marriage. And It's just good to me. It's good to me. He understands how to protect and provide and how to provide solutions. And he just, he sees what happens in my family, and he also listens to my stories, and he can't believe some of the things that I tell him. I'm divested. I'm fully divested, but he's very family oriented, and he's like a people person. So he likes to go to like my family functions, and I dread them. I'm like, I don't want to go here, but we'll go and we'll come back, and it's just like shaking our head because every time we meet up with them, it's just dysfunction and toxicity. So for instance, yesterday we went to a cousin of mine, her 4-year-old son's birthday party. And we went over there, and can y'all believe her and her man, who's about 40, and her 4-year-old live in her mother's basement? That's where this party was. And then, we're sitting there talking to my aunt, which is her mom. And she's talking about how her husband has Alzheimer's, and she also moved in her sister who's older and struggling. And my cousin got her 4-year-old and her damn grown ass man living in the damn basement. And this is the shit that I mean, like, just dysfunctional, just a mess. I've talked about my other cousin who had a baby at 16 by a 25-year-old pervert. And then 10 years later, somehow got bamboozled into having another one by another loser. And now they're living in a hotel. He got her couch surfing, and she's sitting here pinging me, asking me for money to make it to the next day when she got a grown ass man that she laying up with. I also yesterday we talked about my other male cousin who has 10 kids with different women, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm for real. He got 10 kids, and he recently moved his girlfriend, not his wife, but his girlfriend, to California so he can pursue a rap career. And then he's also trying to start a clothing line there. I'm 40. And it's just like, y'all, like there's no value. There's no value within the male community. There's no value in education. There's no value in establishing real businesses that accumulate money, businesses that are stable and that you can pass on to generations. Y'all just want to be athletes and rappers. And then I just compared it to my life, where me as a divested woman, my day is wonderful and it's peaceful. And, I wake up every day, a typical day for me, I'm working out. I'm going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm coming home and I'm meditating and I'm journaling, and I might fuck my husband when I get back. And I'm having a cup of coffee, and I'll sit in my yoga pants all day, just blissfully enjoying each day and enjoying my life, hanging out with my dogs, loving on my son. We'll take a vacation when we want to. Just like recently, I just went to Atlanta on an ad hoc basis just because I was stressed out at work. My husband, what do you need, baby? What do you need? And so I don't know. I just really think that, I just want to share the message and illustrate how it is imperative, Black women, for you guys to divest and self-prioritize. Prioritize your self-care. Prioritize your mental health. Even if that means sacrificing the community. You cannot sacrifice yourself trying to save men in this community. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. And by all means, if you're listening to this, and if you want to still continue to deal with this bullshit, and still suffer and struggle in this community, that's fine. You're a grown woman. You can make your own decisions. Do what you want to do. Best of luck to you. But your children, though, they didn't ask to be here. And they didn't have a choice in that matter. And they shouldn't be forced to grow up in such a toxic and hostile environment where, they're vulnerable to be physically or sexually harmed. In this poor baby's case, shot to death by a crazy nigger. we got to just make better decisions. And so I really just wanted to highlight this story and share this story just to pinpoint and highlight how important it is for us to make wise decisions, divest, escape. I don't care if you just leave with the clothes on your back like I did years ago. That's what I left in the middle of the night and never looked back. Do what's best for you, Black woman. All right. I love you guys. Until next time, see ya. So just as I was wrapping up this video, I had to come back. You cannot make this stuff up. I mean, these stories are coming in more quickly than I can release them. I can't keep up with them. I was literally on social media while editing this video and while wrapping it up and getting ready to post it, and came across this story of a man who beat his girlfriend's 7-year-old son to death with a hammer. See what I mean? This is and we'll go through the story. A man arrested for beating his girlfriend's 7-year-old son to death with a hammer in West Virginia told authorities he just lost it. This 34-year-old man carried out the deadly assault at 2:45 a.m. Thursday. When cops arrived, they found a hammer covered in what appeared to be blood in the living room floor. They discovered the young boy's body lying on the couch with extreme trauma to the left side of his head. Oh, whew. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting so emotional because there's no protection for these children. There's no protection for these children. These children are forced to be in hostile, dangerous environments and are forced to fend for themselves. And it is disgusting. This man was bludgeoned. This little boy was bludgeoned to death. All because his mother did not do the due. And I'm not victim blaming. All I'm saying is do your due diligence, Black women. Do your due diligence. I was very, very careful, even with marrying my current husband. I would not introduce him to my son until we were dating for a year and until we were very, very serious, because I understood that there are dangerous people out there, and there are people who don't mean you no good, and there are people who will harm you. There are people who will harm your children. The boy's mother was 24 years old. She was found at a neighbor's house bleeding heavily from a parent's stab wounds to her face. She was hospitalized in critical condition, and a broken knife was also covered inside the home. So not only did he kill this poor little boy, he stabbed the mom in the face, and she's in critical condition, struggling for her life. Divest, Black woman. Divest like your life depends on it, because it depends on it. Make good choices. Make better choices. These are the men that are within the community. Don't listen to the gaslighting. Don't listen to the, you should have chose better. You can't choose better. I'll never forget listening to Divested Zealot. She said, it's like someone telling you to pick between a batch of 12 rotten peaches to pick a peach. Your choices are limited. There are no good choices here within this community. Your best option is to divest. Otherwise, you will likely end up like this. Oh, y'all. This is tough, y'all. All right. I gotta go. I'm running behind. I got a nail appointment. I gotta get out of here, y'all. I love you guys. Until next time. See ya.